But the thing is, there also in Zimbabwe we got Xhosas there, we got Zulus there, we got vendors there. But there's not any other day those people was harassed or murdered or whatever the case. You understand? So my point is, Ziki, is there's no there's no way that South African they can finish all the foreigners here, especially Zimbabweans, because the many problems starting from the top, from the borders, the road, the, the police of this country, they are assisting this so called Zimbabweans to come here. They are giving them, they are accepting bribes. They are helping them with transport to come here. They are doing almost everything to assist these foreigners to come here in South Africa. Understand? So there's no way except they have to kill. There is no way, my sister. There is no way. Africa, especially this Southern Africa, we are one. There is no way. Look what is the West and these all the European countries did doing here in South Africa. They are building whatever they want. They are building. They have built a lot of stuff in front of our eyes. Look at these Muslim things, these China people. But you can't hear any South African talking about this mosque is full, corner to corner. At lunchtime, I can't even sleep. I can't even sleep with this mosque thing. You understand? But when it comes to Zimbabweans, to black people, we start to fight. If I build my church here, a Shona church or a mall, a Shona mall, it's gonna be a big problem. But when a Chinese or an Indian or whatever come and do those things here in South Africa, it's not a problem. So why can't we just leave all these things and stay together, my sister? Not to fight one another or do or what. But at the end of the day, we are giving room to these people to colonize us again. Because they just take advantage of us now because they see these people, they can't even cooperate, they can't even do anything for themselves. I don't know if you can understand. I'm not well in English, but I think you can hear
No,
something from my
you were
side.
clear. They were listening to you. You were
Mm,
clear. Thank
mm.
you so much
Thanks,
for
my
your
sister.
contribution. Let me have Zimbo and Proud.
Okay.
Brian, you can come out of the stream so that I aid others because we now have only about less than 10 minutes. We are closing. So Zimbo and Proud.
Okay.
Vumile, let me close.
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
it's Fumile here.
All
Yes,
right.
yes. I just want to share a few points. I've been listening attentively, but on the previous speaker's opinion, Brian, I think Brian has got this thing not in the right way. South Africans never said they want to get rid of all foreigners from South Africa. They said they wanted all foreigners who come to South Africa to be in possession of proper documents to be here and also to have a valid reason and not masquerade as refugees and enter our country illegally without proper documentation to create the market that we are trying to shut down of exploitation of our people. So we don't want our neighbors to be the aiders to those who still want to uh, exploit people, especially in the labor market, because we have an advanced legislation here regarding labor. There's minimum wage. Before you come here, you must find out what is the minimum wage that you need to have your documents. You need to abide by the laws. of this country. So those are the people that we want out of the country, those who are not in possession of those documents, those who are accepting jobs below the minimum wage. They must go back and fix their documentation. And then to touch, just to close, because you mentioned there's no time, solutions. I think Pesci was pushing for a number of solutions. And on her suggestions, Zimbabweans, when they are here, they must start to act against the injustices that are happening in their country. Like now, last week, journalists are appearing in court just for reporting the news in Zimbabwe. The opposition party there, an event was shut down by the police. I mean, it will never happen here in South Africa. The ANC will never shut down an EFF event, anyone's event. Even Zimbabwean groupings can have their event here. The police will not shut it down as long as it's peaceful in line with our laws. So when you are here, you need to don't report South Africa to the ICC, report Zimbabwean government, petition South African Parliament, petition the UN, petition the AU, and also prepare for the elections of 2023. Go back and vote and exercise your right. And if necessary, prepare for a fight, because some of us South Africans, we think, I'm of the perception that Zimbabwe is under military rule, because I don't think the policemen in Zimbabwe are policemen. I think they are military people, the way they do their things there. Remember when in South Africa they released soldiers to guard on the street? They were very harsh upon the people. So I think in Zimbabwe they disguise police and just give them police uniform. So those things must be reported and exposed. And then we will see that the people of Zimbabwe are fighting. But the guys I'm with here, they never complain much about Zimbabwe. They'll tell you they have huge land, we have small yards here. It's fine, we have small yards because we're paying so much to buy those small yards. They don't tell you that they are planning anything in Zimbabwe. They are too relaxed here in this country. So I'm hoping the groupings here in South Africa will take this forward. They don't need to fight with Operation Dudula. Operation Dudula can actually help them to push our government, to push their government to make reforms in that country. Thank you to everyone and everyone.
Thank you so much. You may come out of the stream so that I aid others. We are moving with time now. We only have less than 10 minutes, then we are going. I wanted Zimbo and Proud to speak, but unfortunately, I don't know.
They can't hear me. I'm trying. I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Look, I just mentioned that South Africa has hosted us. I came here in South Africa and I relocated back to Zim. But my experience when I was in South Africa is wild. I literally was sleeping in the streets, on the streets, and I actually made something out of myself. I can literally say I started from the bottom and I can say now I'm here. I don't have much, but I'm proud of what I've achieved in South Africa. It was one of the things what I realized is I always avoided Black South Africa communities at all costs. Even if I go to a bank, I'll choose a colored or a white person. They were, hate. They spew hate, so much hate, as if they actually enjoy. They're not even enjoying South Africa itself. The Black South African communities as a whole, they don't enjoy much of that. But I'm gracious and grateful of the white community, South Africans and coloreds, because they were more receptive and because they were more tolerant. Blacks were judgmental, as they do now. When they say about us, they actually say we there's murder. There's not even someone has gone and say who that person is. It's already Zimbabwean. Their description is that we're all garden boys, we are all doing what you call manual labors. But the truth is, we have risen up as a community in South Africa, and people have started to living at least a better life, and they're becoming hateful, spiteful, because 2014, it was Nigerians. All Nigerians were drug dealers. All Nigerians were hijacking buildings. Now it's us who's doing garden work. Why? If it's true that we're all doing garden work and stealing and do whatever we're saying we're doing, then I apologize. But I don't believe that's the truth. That's not the truth. The truth is, check the timelines. The timeline of hate of certain specific nationalities which are foreign in South Africa as a timeline. It used to be Nigerians. Now it's Zimbabweans, because you know what happens? Because a number of Zimbabweans has grown up as grown, and people have developed. But it's not that. It's a hate. Other national and misplaced sense of superiority where you think you're supposed. I created job for 7 South Africans. I actually managed to feed families for 6 years. Why? Because I actually took an opportunity. It was not given, but I worked for it, and I'm proud about that. And the very fact that people just look at us and think that we're thieves and that we're thieving and we're taking things which is what is black community? Let's separate. There's a guy who said now that there are levels. What level? Black South Africans are still in abject poverty, and they actually look at us as competition. But there's nothing in black communities that you can actually look and say, okay, this is what it is. I think what needs to be done is this.
Zeki, sorry, someone needs to switch off their microphone. Zeki, sorry, someone needs to switch off their microphone. I don't know who's there, but
I think I saw him. Yeah, he has switched off.
And Magai, please make your point.
My point
please
is that
make your point.
Let me make my point. My point is that South Africa thinks
Ziki, can I speak it? Can I explain a little bit, maybe?
No, I'm making my point.
No, wait, let him finish. Just a second. Finish Zimbabwe proud, okay?
I'm saying South Africa is in the same boat with Zimbabwe. If they're assuming that they're in the clear and they have all these things, they're assuming that, no, we are better and we're better classified as Zimbabwe. You are not. You're actually is the same boat as we are, and actually, you actually have to take heed. It's a lesson learned. Take heed. If you don't, it's too late. Case closed.
Okay.
Okay, I need to respond.
Thank you,
I need to respond now.
Thank you, Zimbabwe. Let's give others
in
a
respect,
chance.
Ziki, can I say something? Oh, sorry.
Simon, Simon.
Simon, can you hear me, Ziki?
I need to steal this time, guys, please.
Can you hear me?
Wait, okay. Simon, just hold on. He wants to respond to
can I just respond?
Then I'm
please?
going to open your mic, Simon. Just a minute.
Okay. So basically what we had here is a man who once lived on the streets and never recovered. So there was never much of a point other than just resentment. South Africa is not a perfect place. South Africans, we are not perfect. We never said we are. We never claimed to be superior. But how come you never find a South African sleeping in the streets of Zimbabwe or Nigeria? So let's face the facts sometimes, I don't want someone to leave their country and sleeping in our streets. We pay tax for that pavement. Where do you think that pavement came from? The next time you shit on our pavement, they say South Africa is a hellhole full of... This is what we are agreeing about. Zimbabwe is poor. But please, let's not just pass all our problems to the next country. Now we have got this bitter generation that is hating us. Imagine we have got people who hate us like this in our streets. And that's why you see when they kill South Africans, they brutal about it. They just kill. What you had there is proper hate. It's actually not us. It's a projection. It doesn't sound like we're the ones who hate. What you had there is a bitter soul that lived on the streets of South Africa, and whatever happened to him there, he never recovered. And people like these are dangerous to our sovereign nation. That's all.
Okay, can I say something, Ziggy? Okay, Ziggy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Ziggy, I just wanted to say something. I'm 45 years old. I finished high school in 1995. So I lived under apartheid. I went through the Bantu education. And I think the biggest problem I think South Africa is that a lot of people that come to South Africa, they don't understand that they are coming into a country of people who have been traumatized and wounded. And I remember I grew up in Limpopo. Zimbabweans have always been our cousins. We have always known that. And we've always had a very good relationship with Zimbabwe. That's why even in the beginning, when things started going south in Zimbabwe, we were the ones who actually opened up our doors for you guys to come in. So what's then happening is that when Zimbabweans comes into South Africa. They're just seeing an opportunity, but they don't understand that, we used to look up to you guys as in some way like a big brother. You got your independence first. I remember also after high school, my first choice was actually to go and study in Zimbabwe because that's how much we love Zimbabwe. Even growing up, the music we listen to was Zimbabwean music. The Four Brothers and all those guys. So what's happened that when people come in here and they don't understand that, guys, our brothers and sisters here, they are wounded. They've been through oppression. They've been through slavery. And then you come here, you know that our education was not good. So intentionally, we were miseducated. So when you guys come here and then you say, oh, we are educated. So what are you saying to me? What are you saying to a wounded soul? And how do you expect South Africans to react? I think what needs to happen, I think the biggest pain point for me personally, is that I grew up looking up to Zimbabwe, and to really see a country, the people that I used to look up to, people that I used to like, even when we're going through apartheid, I know that one day we will be like the people across the river. And to really see Zimbabweans now, where they are now, where they are wounded, where they are now fighting for scraps, for me, it's a very painful thing. And I think as South Africans and Zimbabweans, we must stop pointing fingers at each other and throwing mud at each other. We need to say, guys, how do we find a solution? Because no matter how strong South Africa is, South Africa cannot be strong in a weak region. And I think for the region to be stronger, we need Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is key to this region developing. We know Botswana might be doing well and Namibia, but Zimbabwe is a strong country. It's a country with highly educated people. We need Zimbabwe to grow the region. And I think we must really stop throwing mud at each other and say, guys, we know we are having problems. Yes, illegal immigration is creating problems. It's overburdening our health system. At the moment, South Africans are not even getting good health system because we have welcomed and accommodated Zimbabweans. And, as painful as it is, but we love you guys because we are family to start with. For me, when I go back like 3 generations back, I found that some of my great parents were actually Zimbabweans. So I think we must just find a way to say, guys, we have problems. How do we resolve problems? Because this thing of throwing mud at each other is really not going to get us anywhere. Because for South Africa to be strong and successful, we need the region.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's my point.
Okay, thank you. Slots?
Yes, I hope, do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. So I'm trying to correct my sister Princess on the comment she made. The thing about forcing ideologies in issues that require practical solutions is that you go.
Can I say something else? Maybe I said, okay, nobody's saying anything. Can I jump in here, Ziggy?
Okay.
Okay, I mean, on the issue of xenophobia and all those kind of things. I mean, people can paint it as much as whoever they want, but in reality, South Africans are not xenophobic. If we were xenophobic, we would have done what some people did in Europe when they had migrants from Syria going to Europe. If we were really xenophobic, we would have formed a human chain in Limpopo there to prevent Zimbabweans from coming in. But we didn't do that. I remember also for me in Venda, where I grew up, my grandmother's house, people used to know that anybody who's coming from Zimbabwe, they used to come and stop at my grandmother's house. People who stay there for months and months. My grandmother with a legal government pension supporting these people until they're strong enough that they can pick up and they can move up to Joburg. We welcome our homes. So for people to come back today and say, okay, just because of the unfortunate incident that have been happening where, because of criminality and all these kind of things happening, people getting killed and all those kind of things, and then they brand everybody as xenophobic. I live in Cape Town at the moment. Majority of my friends are from Zimbabwe, and we sit and we discuss these issues. The reality is, yes, there's a problem in Zimbabwe, but we need to find a way that how do we solve Zimbabweans' problems together as a region? Because I can tell you, tomorrow all the Zimbabweans can leave South Africa, but the problem that we have currently will still remain. Because the biggest problem with South Africa after independence was that we want to restore dignity to the African people. And then what's happening now is that when a Zimbabwean comes in and then gets a job and agrees to be paid minimum wage, what they're actually doing, they are reversing the gains of the struggle. And I think that's one of the reasons that I think a lot of people don't really think about. If you are supposed to be paid 20 rand an hour and you take a job at 15 rand per hour, you are actually reversing what we have achieved. We are reversing what we have fought for, what people died for. And for us, when we look and say, guys, we are not thriving. These guys are coming in here, undercutting us. And actually, it's not just about jobs. It's about you are now reversing the gains that we have gained. Because the problem that we have, which is issues of racism and everything, we're not going to defeat these things if we still have black people who are willing to be called names. Because what has actually happened in some sectors is that they won't call South African names, but they will use the same names that they used to call us. They will use those names against Zimbabweans. Then, which means that actually the battle that we're fighting, we're actually not winning. We are losing. So what we are saying, we say, guys, Zimbabweans, come be partners in the battle and the struggle that we are fighting in South Africa. So that as we get liberated, it doesn't only liberate us, but it also liberate a black child wherever they are. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Okay, thank you. So let me give back to Sloth. Sloth was about to.
All right, thank you, Simon. I understand your point, but the other point is towards Princess and other Pan-Africanists who try to hide behind the ideology of Pan-Africanism just to justify to justify the illegal immigration into South Africa, and by saying that no African is a foreigner in Africa, but that is not the point. We cannot hide behind our identities, whether you identify as Bantu, we are all Bantu, we are connected and whatever. But that doesn't justify you coming into my land and just settling yourself in without ever getting permission from the higher ups or the people who actually own that land. Because even before the borders were constructed, each tribe, each nation, each city states that was there before colonization had their own borders and had their procedures in which a foreign resident or a foreign person who tried to enter the land must have permission from the higher ups. That has always been the rule of the day. So we cannot hide behind our identities, whether my sister Princess says we are all from the same ancestor. That doesn't mean anything, because everyone in Africa, if we use that ideology, we're from the same ancestor. But that doesn't mean we must enter into each other's spaces without having following proper procedures to do that. So that is the kind of attitude that I see among Pan-Africanists, especially who do not actually genuinely believe in their own ideologies, but they hide behind those ideologies just to push whatever they're doing in their country, especially those who are doing no good. You see, especially when they get caught. I heard one Nigerian guy in the news who was actually saying, or he wasn't saying, he was shouting at the colored people that, hey, you are not African, you are not African, you aren't supposed to be in South Africa, you cannot tell me where I should be and whatever. And he was a Nigerian shouting in a colored South African in South Africa, telling that he doesn't belong there. So that is the toxic side of what we call the Pan-African community, is imposing your ideology into other people. So, Princess, if you have to justify your point, you shouldn't hide behind ideologies or identities. We should actually. Okay, you can talk.
Can I add over what Slox has been saying? So I've got few questions to raise here.